Top 9 Strangest Villages in the World. What if I told you there are places where husbands willingly share their wives with others as part of their way of life? Or are you brave enough to visit the legendary Snake Village? Picture a community where people and venomous snakes live side by side as neighbors. Could you handle spending a day there? These villages are home to customs and traditions so unique, they'll leave you questioning reality. Brace yourself as we take you on a journey to uncover the top 9 strangest villages in the world, places so extraordinary they defy belief. Let's journey to a secluded village in Tanzania, where the customs around marriage and relationships are unlike anything you might expect. Welcome to the village of borrowing wives. Imagine living in a place where lending your wife to another man is not just accepted, but a deeply rooted tradition. In this village, the idea of borrowing wives is not only common, but an expected practice. In this Tanzanian village, husbands are known for their surprising generosity. They willingly lend their wives to other men, but with a few important rules in place. One key rule is that the husband lending the wife must be of a similar age to the man borrowing her. Here's an interesting twist. If a husband catches his wife with another man, he is expected to remain calm and composed, understanding that this is just part of the culture. When a man wants to borrow a wife, he simply says, "I'll confide in your wife." But what is life really like beyond these surprising customs? It's a far cry from the luxuries of modern living. The homes are simple, built from clay, and lack cement or bricks to hold them together. Inside, there's no fancy furniture or decorations. Instead, the walls are adorned with mirrors that serve as both decoration and a means of self-reflection. Inside these humble homes, you won't find large wardrobes to keep clothes neat. Instead, clothes hang on the bed, and the space is sparse. For food, the locals mainly eat cassava flour, dipping it in a manner similar to Indian cuisine. Water is collected from rain using whatever containers are available, and electricity is a rare luxury, with solar panels being the main source of power. So would you consider living in a village like this? Do you see this tradition as an act of generosity or something more complex? Would you ever visit a place where giving a wife is seen as just another part of life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Prepare to face the extraordinary as we explore a place that's not for the faint of heart, the legendary Snake Village. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to live in a world where hundreds of snakes slither freely through the streets, then hold on tight. This village will captivate you and maybe even give you the chills. Located in a remote village in Tanzania, members of the Jula tribe treat snakes as if they were pets. In this community, these slithering creatures aren't feared. Instead, they are respected and even welcomed into everyday life. Men, women, and children here are completely at ease with these venomous reptiles. Picture this. They let snakes slither across their faces, hold them in their mouths, and casually toss them into bags. Their confident challenge? Bet you can't bite me. The Jula people expertly handle a variety of snakes, including green and other venomous species, known for their defensive capabilities. To reduce the risk of harm, younger snakes are carefully caught from their natural habitat. Experienced handlers then use specific techniques to ensure their safety while managing these dangerous creatures. In this village, a unique snake dance is performed, but it's not just for entertainment. This dance plays an educational role, teaching the villagers about the snake's behaviors and how to avoid danger. By combining tradition with practical survival knowledge, they turn a high-risk activity into an important lesson on living with venomous creatures. So, what happens if someone gets bitten? In these remote areas, immediate medical help isn't always an option, since the nearest hospital could be miles away. Instead, they rely on traditional herbal remedies that have been passed down for generations to treat venomous bites. Interestingly, Tanzania isn't the only place where humans live in harmony with snakes. In Thailand, there's a similar community, Bangkok Sangha in Kon Kaen province. Here, over 140 families keep snakes, including deadly cobras, in wooden boxes. During performances, these snakes are released to show the close bond locals share with the creatures. Take Bwali Chai, a 72-year-old local with decades of snake handling experience. Despite the dangers, the villagers treat these snakes like family. When a snake dies, it is honored in temples, reflecting the deep respect they have for these reptiles. Now, let me ask you, do you cook with a gas stove, wood stove, or electric stove? Because in the next village we're visiting, they don't need any stoves at all. The entire area has been spontaneously burning for over 50 years. But before we get into that, I have a quick 10-second favor to ask. If you enjoy this content, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Your support means a lot to us, and we promise to keep bringing you exciting and unique content. Deal? Imagine a place where the ground has been burning for over 50 years, and the flames just refuse to die down, no matter what. Welcome to Selenas Village in Chongqing, China, also known as the spontaneously combusting village. This strange phenomenon takes place in a surprisingly small area, only about 4 square meters. Yet it holds more than a dozen holes of varying sizes, all fiercely burning. The sight of flickering flames rising from the earth is both unsettling and mesmerizing. And here's the most bizarre part. These flames never go out, not even when it rains. The story behind this burning mystery goes back about 50 years. Local legend says an oil exploration team arrived to search for natural gas. After digging into the earth, they determined the area wasn't suitable for extraction and sealed the well. But Mother Nature had different plans. Despite their efforts to block the flow, natural gas continued seeping to the surface, sparking the flames that have been burning ever since. For the villagers, this oddity has become part of everyday life. They've even learned to use the flames for practical purposes, boiling water and cooking meals outdoors, taking full advantage of this eternal heat source. It might sound unbelievable, but when life gives you a never-ending fire, you make the most of it. Interestingly, Danman isn't the only place where the earth burns with stubborn defiance. Let's take a brief detour to Oymyakon, a village in northeast Russia known as the coldest inhabited place on Earth. Temperatures here can plummet to a staggering -60 degrees Celsius, yet even in this frozen wasteland, Linum Helfer extensively documented people engaging in climate action protests, and when they don't give up, they are defeated. In Oymyakon, these fires smolder beneath the snow, fueled by peat and methane gas trapped deep within the ground. While the surface fires may have been extinguished long ago, the flames quietly continue below the thick ice layer. When the snow melts, these hidden fires can flare up again, reigniting their heat once more. It's hard to believe, isn't it? In one village, flames rage on despite heavy rains. In another, they quietly burn beneath the ice. These are places where nature defies reason, where it feels like the earth itself is alive, breathing fire through cracks in the ground. Would you dare to visit a village where the ground beneath your feet is hot enough to cook your food? Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned. Next, we're heading to a village where rice is traded for dead mosquitoes. The burning village in China might still have its mosquitoes, but I can't help but wonder, do they trade rice for dead mosquitoes like the village next door? In 2019, the small village of Alion in Bataan Province, Philippines, found itself facing a major health crisis. Mosquitoes were everywhere, carrying the deadly threat of dengue fever. The situation was dire, with an estimated 5,000 cases of dengue reported every week from January to July. It was clear that something had to be done, fast. Enter Marito Unbalan, the village chief, who came up with an innovative solution. His idea was simple but effective. For every 200 dead mosquitoes collected, the village would reward the collector with 1 kilogram of rice. It was a clever strategy that turned the mosquito problem into an opportunity for the whole community. But how do you catch mosquitoes? The villagers came up with a unique method. They placed shallow dishes filled with cooking oil around their homes. The mosquitoes would land on the oil, get stuck, and die. This method not only helped reduce the mosquito population, but also turned a dangerous pest into a source of local income and food. The campaign had a remarkable impact, reducing the number of mosquitoes and helping to curb the spread of dengue fever. But as the initiative grew in popularity, a new concern emerged. What if people tried to cheat the system by breeding mosquitoes just to collect rice? Now let's take a moment to travel to Din Ok Lin, a village in China full of mysteries. Despite having all the conditions mosquitoes love, stagnant ponds and standing water, this village has no mosquitoes at all. The locals believe it's because of a large frog-shaped stone, which they say devours any mosquito that dares to approach the village. But there's also another theory. Some people believe that the village's unique approach to waste management plays a role. They bury their trash on a hillside, creating an environment that might discourage mosquitoes from thriving. However, neither of these theories has been proven by science. In the village of Lam Toi, you'll find a vibrant, one-of-a-kind artificial village that defies the norms of traditional living. This is no ordinary settlement. It's a unique fusion of traditional Chinese and Western influences, perched on a massive bridge that stretches over a river. As you stroll along, you'll encounter a strange mix of decorations: a school bus hanging mid-air, puppets placed along the bridge's edges, and even a miniature replica of Rio's famous Christ the Redeemer's statue. It's colorful and surreal, a visual feast that feels like something straight out of a dream. But while the village is an architectural marvel, it's also sparked plenty of debate. Many people have raised concerns. Is this even safe? With the bridge holding so much weight, there's always the lingering fear. What if it collapses? And let's be honest, could you sleep soundly knowing you're resting above a river with nothing but a narrow bridge beneath you? The truth is, though, that no one actually lives here. The entire village is just a tourist attraction, designed to amaze visitors rather than house permanent residents. While it's hard to imagine anyone calling this bridge home, you can't deny the engineering behind it. Building a structure that can support all the weight of the village, with its quirky decorations, takes some serious architectural know-how. This village reminds me of another place known for its wild setup, the so-called most inconvenient convenience store in the world. Picture this: a tiny wooden hut, just 2 square meters in size, dangling off the edge of a 120-meter-high cliff in Hunan, China. It's barely big enough for one person to sit inside and sell snacks to climbers passing by. But here's the catch: there's no restroom. So, if the staff need a bathroom break, they have to rappel down the cliff to get to the nearest facility. Imagine waking up in the morning, gearing up for work, and then having to climb 120 meters just to get to your shift. And for visitors who want to buy something, they'll have to scale a series of iron steps bolted into the cliff, with only fixed cables for support. Today, we're taking you deep into the heart of Nghe An Province, Vietnam, to a place known by a name that might surprise you: the Fake Monk Village. Nha Dong is a poor and barren area where locals have to be resourceful just to survive. As you walk through the village's narrow streets, you might see people draped in scarves, moving slowly and calmly. At first glance, they might appear to be monks or nuns living a humble life. But as you'll see, appearances can be deceiving. In Nha Dong, some villagers take on the role of monks or nuns, donning traditional robes and carrying incense for sale. But their intentions aren't just spiritual, they're more about survival. The villagers keep careful records of who buys incense, claiming it's for a merit list, supposedly maintained by a local temple. They tell buyers that by purchasing incense, they're gaining blessings and spiritual merit, making the offer hard to resist. Many people, wanting to earn goodwill or feel connected to something greater, end up paying up to 3 times the normal price of incense. They believe they're not just buying a product, but securing blessings in return. But the deception doesn't stop there. Some of these so-called monks and nuns take it even further. They go door to door, telling emotional stories and asking for donations. With their heartfelt pleas, they often manage to convince generous locals to hand over money. What they don't know is that these monks are simply imposters, skilled in the art of persuasion. And the sums involved can add up to $1 billion, are often tricked into giving between $4 to $8 each time. Many of these fake monks are actually farmers from Nha Dong, who spend months traveling around the country, collecting donations and selling incense before returning home. Surprisingly, this can be a profitable scheme. Take, for example, Vo Thi Quy. Born in 1981 in Ton Moi, Nha Dong. She spent 3 years posing as a nun and made enough money to build a villa. Meanwhile, her husband stayed home. Another example is Win Van Ji, who pretended to be a monk for a while and returned with enough money to buy both a house and a car. If you're into the extraordinary, this village will blow your mind. Let's travel to Vietnam, where locals are renowned for growing giant winter melons. So what makes these melons so special? Well, for starters, they're not the kind of melons you'd find in your local supermarket. These massive melons can weigh anywhere from 50 to 70 kilograms, with some even reaching an incredible 100 kilograms. They stand as tall as 60 to 90 centimeters and have a circumference that can stretch up to 0.5 meters. Picture a fruit so large that a child can even wrap their arms around it. But that's just the beginning. During peak season, it's rare to find a melon that weighs less than 100 kilograms. Each melon vine carries between 50 to 100 melons, and the total weight of a single vine can top 6 tons. Harvesting these colossal fruits isn't a solo task. It takes a whole team of workers and some heavy-duty trellises to support the weight. What makes this even more fascinating is the dedication of the villagers in preserving their melon-growing heritage. Despite being displaced multiple times due to war, the people of Tran Trac have always protected their valuable melon seeds. These seeds, passed down through generations, are considered the foundation of their tradition. Interestingly, the seeds seem to have a deep connection to the soil here. When planted elsewhere, the melons grow to only a fraction of their size, leaving both locals and visitors in awe. But growing these giant melons isn't just about preserving tradition, it's also a lucrative business. When harvest season arrives, these melons can sell for around 20 to 35 cents in US dollars each. That's not all. Each melon vine also produces several liters of water, which the villagers sell for about $1.25 per liter. It's a unique and profitable venture that keeps the village thriving. So, what do you think? Could you handle the challenge of harvesting a melon as big as a small car? Or would you be curious enough to try the water from one of these gigantic fruits? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's see who's brave enough to take on a 100-kilogram melon. In a place shrouded in mystery and unsolved stories, we find village number 8, where an entire community vanished overnight. Welcome to Selenas, also known as the Ghost Village, located in the northern New Territories of Hong Kong. Local legends tell of a man who set out to perform a ceremonial ritual in Selenas. When he arrived, he was greeted by an unsettling sight. Nearly 100 villagers had disappeared without a trace. Strangely, their belongings were left behind in perfect order. Food had already been prepared for a gathering, and livestock roamed the village calmly, as if nothing was amiss. Yet, there wasn't a single soul in sight. The nearby village of Toalaban earned a chilling nickname: the compass is locked. This was due to a strange phenomenon where compasses in the area stopped working completely. It felt as though the entire village was cut off from the rest of the world, trapped in a mystery that no one could explain. Bill Case persisted in looking for answers in what he termed public gossip. After the villagers disappeared, rumors began to circulate. Some believed illness had driven them away, while others suggested military involvement. But what everyone agreed on was this: no one could remember who vanished first, only that the village had started to see more and more funerals. One story that surfaced was of a mysterious figure known as the Barefoot Traveler. This man visited a neighbor's house and fell ill shortly after returning home. His health deteriorated quickly, and he passed away without being able to speak. His death seemed to mark the beginning of a series of strange illnesses in the village. The odd events didn't stop there. A year later, the grandmother of a woman named Ma Jianwen experienced something unforgettable. While at home, she suddenly felt dizzy and barely managed to return to her bed before collapsing. Locals whispered that it felt as though the village itself was pressing down on her. And it wasn't just the elderly. One night, several villagers fainted in the streets for no apparent reason. They had been walking and chatting with neighbors just moments before, only to suddenly lose consciousness. Those who made it home often passed out soon after, with no visible signs of injury. What made it even stranger was the pattern of sudden deaths. Families experienced multiple losses in a short span, spouses passing away within weeks of each other, siblings dying in their sleep. It was as if some unseen force was quietly taking its toll on the village. Intrigued by these strange occurrences, a researcher named Tran Van Hai decided to investigate. His findings were shared on a local radio program, suggesting a dark history tied to the area. Decades earlier, a nearby village, Gong Ngut Ti Ho, had experienced a tragedy during a boat trip, leading to its eventual abandonment. Over time, the area had become a magnet for ghost hunters and thrill seekers, drawn to its haunted reputation. Despite all the speculation and research, the mystery behind Toalaban remains unsolved. What really happened to the villagers of Selenas? Could it have been an unexplained natural event, or was there something darker at play? The truth, for now, remains locked in the shadows. We've saved one of the most fascinating stories for last. If you've been following our journey into unique cultures and extraordinary customs, this next tale is sure to captivate you. We're heading to Selenas Village, located in the Dominican Republic, a place known for a rare and unusual genetic phenomenon. In Selenas, a remarkable biological condition has puzzled both locals and scientists for many years. Girls born in this village with typical female traits undergo a dramatic change as they hit puberty. What was once a female body begins to develop male characteristics. This transformation happens because of a rare genetic condition that affects how their bodies develop during adolescence. This condition, which affects roughly 1 in every 90 girls in the village, might sound like something out of science fiction, but it is a well-known and accepted part of life here. In fact, Selenas has earned a special nickname due to this fascinating transformation. Take Johnny, for instance. Born as Felicita, Johnny's early life seemed completely normal. However, as puberty began, Felicita started to undergo unexpected changes. She developed a deeper voice and began showing other male physical traits. Over time, Felicita embraced a new identity as Johnny, marking a complete shift from her childhood. Johnny's story, while unique, is not an isolated one in Selenas. This phenomenon has been observed for generations, and it is something that the community understands and accepts. In the 1970s, physiologist Julian Imperato made a groundbreaking discovery about this condition. He found that these individuals were born with a deficiency in an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase, 5R. This enzyme plays a crucial role in converting testosterone into a hormone needed for male development. Without sufficient levels of this hormone at birth, children appear female. But when puberty arrives, higher levels of testosterone cause male characteristics to emerge. For those living in Selenas, the transition varies. Some individuals embrace their new identity without issue, while others struggle with the change. The emotional and psychological impact of this transition is complex, and each person's journey is deeply personal. Some choose to live as men, while others wrestle with their identity and how their physical appearance is shifted. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love this content. Comment below about the next country you want to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Thanks for joining us. Leave a comment, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting videos. See you in the next video.